friend of mine on Instagram invited me on an Instagram live just recently, and we were talking Rockwell. He doesn't have the Rockwell 6C or 6S, but he does have the Rockwell T2 SS. So we were going over it back and forth, and I thought to myself, you know what? I feel like using that Rockwell 6S. So for today's shave, I'll be using the Rockwell 6S. And because I'm using Rockwell, and Rockwell is a Canadian company, I thought to myself, not only am I going to use that Rockwell 6S, maybe I'll make this an all Canadian shave. So for the first time on this channel, and the first time that I'll be using this artisan, today I'll be shaving with First Canadian Shave. Now this soap is extremely soft, so I'll be using my Spot Prints custom bowl and staying all Canadian. I'll also be using my custom made Spot Prints shave and chat brush. And then once all the growth is gone and the face is feeling nice and smooth, I'll go ahead and end off the entire shave with First Canadian Shave Aftershave Splash. All right, that's enough talking. Let's get the shave going. Now to keep things Canadian, I'll be using Stonefield pre-shave oil. Now that the pre-shave is loaded, let me go ahead and load my bowl. What a beautiful scent. Very cologne-y, very fresh and very clean. Right now, I'm impressed just by the scent alone. So I scooped some soap into the bowl. Now let me go ahead and smear it around. So now if you're new, I'll do my best to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And if I happen to do something you're like, well, what's he doing? Of course, feel free to leave me a comment down below and say, hey, why are you doing that? Or what's the point of that? Maybe you'll strike up some kind of conversation. So now I'll go ahead and I'm gonna dunk my brush into the sink of water and get it loaded with water. So I dunked my brush into the sink of water and then I squeezed out as much as I could. I'm gonna go into the bowl, start my lather, and as I need water, I'll do one of two things. I'll use the mister or I'll dunk just the tips of the brush into some water and get back into the bowl. So let's start that lather. Look at that. All right, so the lather is looking beautiful. Now let me go ahead and paint the soap on. The reason why I paint the soap on and then I'll go and load my razor is to just give the soap some time to help soften the hair to get ready to be cut. So now that I've painted on the soap, let's load the Rockwell 6S and let's keep it Canadian. I'm gonna load that Rockwell 6S with an Aylesworth blade. I'm also going to do my best to explain the Rockwell 6S. Now it is an adjustable razor. I do recommend to people that are new to traditional wet shaving or the person that wants to get started, but they're not sure which razor to pick up first. The Rockwell 6C or 6S is perfect. Now the difference between the Rockwell 6C and the 6S is the material. They're both the exact same razor. The Rockwell 6C is chrome and the Rockwell 6S is stainless steel. So if you want to save yourself a couple of bucks, I recommend getting the Rockwell 6C. And if you want to save even more, what you can do as well is click the link down in the description where you could save up to 10% on your first Rockwell order. Nothing but savings on this channel. All right, let me go ahead and load that razor. So the Rockwell has 3 separate plates with 6 different aggressions or efficiency. On the first plate, they have the 1R, which is the most mild you can get on this razor. And then when you flip it over, they have the 3R, which is in the middle of the bunch because the Rockwell does have 6 different aggressions. On plate number 2, you have 2R, flip it over, and you have 4R. And then on the third and final plate, you have 5R, flip it around, and you have 6R. Because I'm working with roughly 3 to 4 days worth of growth, I am going to start with the 6R and I'll work my way down just to demonstrate a few levels of aggression with this razor and to give you a good idea on how well it shaves. Now to load the Rockwell 6S, it is pretty straightforward. You take your top cap. Normally I would take my top cap with most other razors and I would hold it like this and then place the blade in. But the Rockwell is a little different because the blade ends protrude past the top cap a little. So what I'm going to do is put the top cap on the palm of my hand, grab my blade, and you're just going to want to line everything up. Now to know which aggression you're going to use when using the Rockwell 6S or 6C, you want the number to be facing upwards. Now grab your handle, start twisting. As you can see here, the blade protrudes just ever so slightly. So if you're a head shaver, you might want to watch out with your ears, or if you're a full face shaver and you're shaving around your nose area, be aware of the blade. So the Rockwell 6S is loaded. I'm using plate 6R and it's ready to get to work. So now that my razor is loaded, the soap has had some time to soften the hair a little. Let's go ahead and start building this lather on the face. When you splay your brush, you're doing multiple different things. You're going to build your lather, you're lifting your hair, and you're exfoliating your skin. All right, here we go for my first pass with the Rockwell Success, plate number 6. And I'll be going with the grain. And there you have it, end of the first pass. It feels like forever since I've used this razor, and I forgot how smooth of a shave it is. Like I said, I'm dealing with roughly 3 to 4 days worth of growth. Level 6 is perfect for that first pass. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to drop down the aggression to a level 4. And then from there, I might go down to a level 2, see how it feels, but I might bump that up to a 3. So let me go ahead and show you what I do when I swap out the plates. Blade is still on the top cap. So I grabbed plate number 4. I'll go ahead and place it on. And there you have it. The Rockwell Success is loaded with plate 4. Now let's get on with that second pass. And oh, I should probably make note. When you're tightening your razor, you do not have to go super tight. You just want to make sure you twist the handle enough until it's snug. Let's start that second pass with the Rockwell Success, plate 4, and I'll be going across the grain. And just like that, second pass done. So now what I'm gonna do is switch out plate 4, we're gonna drop it down to plate 2. So this is really easy because all I need to do is just flip it over, and now I'm on plate 2. The thing I'm always looking for when it comes to my lathering is I want that same look and feel throughout my entire shave. So right now I'm going on my third pass, and this soap feels as if I'm just starting my shave, and I'm loving it. I could start my shave right now, but I still have a ton of soap in my brush, and I have a lot more in my bowl. I don't want this to go to waste, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply it all to the face. This is insane. All right, here we go with the Rockwell 6S using R2, and I'll be going against the grain. And there you go, third pass is done. Now I do have to say, level 2 for me personally was a little too mild. I think the 3 would have been perfect, but the pass was still feeling nice, so I thought I would just keep it at the 2. Next time I use the 6S, 3 may be as low as I go. So now let me go ahead, wash off the rest of the soap, and continue on. Hold tight. All right, let me get in there with the Parker's Alum Block. Just to note, after I'm done using the alum block, I will give it a good rinse and dry her off for my next use. So that shave felt fantastic. There is a slight tingle on the face. Now, if you're wondering why you're using that block, the alum serves a bunch of different purposes. It helps heal any irritation or nicks that I may have gotten during that shave. It helps tighten the skin. And as I was mentioning, I have a slight tingle on the face. So the alum is telling me how that shave was. For this shave, I was bang on. Now, if my face was really stinging or really burning, that's the alum's way of saying, hey dude, you need to chill out a little bit, my friend. Don't be so aggressive and relax. Enjoy the process. So now that I have the alum on the face, I'm gonna go ahead, clean up my gear, clean up my area, and get everything ready for my next shave. One thing that I do after every single shave is I remove the blade from my razor. I'll pat it dry and put it back in the packaging that I got it from. If I'm going to use it again, I'll put it off to the side. If I'm done with it, I'll put it in the blade bank. So I've used this Aylesworth blade a number of different times. Let's put it back in its packaging and dispose of it. The blade is all packed up. Let's toss it in the blade bank. So I've gone ahead and I've cleaned up the Rockwell and the plates. Instead of putting a plate back in the razor, I am going to keep them aside to air dry. And I also went ahead and cleaned up my Spot Prints custom shave-in chat brush. I also cleaned up my Spot Prints custom shave-in chat bowl. So now everything is clean and ready for my next shave. While I was cleaning, I could feel the alum still tingling and working its magic. Maybe it's tightening my skin. And actually, while I'm speaking to you right now, I can still feel that alum tingling and doing its thing. So next, what I'm going to do is wash off the alum with cold water. And yes, I do recommend washing off the alum with cold water and get ready to put on some Thayers. First, I'll go ahead and apply the clear Thayers, followed by the hydrating milky toner, but with a bit of a twist. Now I'll go ahead and splash on First Canadian Shave Aftershave Splash. There's no alcohol in this splash, and it feels fantastic. So now that I have applied the aftershave splash directly to the face, so I get the full effect of the scent and all the goodness that comes from the splash, I'm going to reapply the splash, but this time I'm going to combine it with the Thayers Hydrating Milky Toner. I always love adding that hydrating milky toner to my splash. Whether it's got alcohol in it or not, personally, I find like it just helps enhance what's already amazing. Make sure to pick up some First Canadian Shave and also grab that Rockwell 6C or 6S. Save yourself some money by using the link in the description. All right, and there you have it. End of the shave. I am so glad that I had that conversation on Instagram and that I used my Rockwell 6S. Now, if you're new, I hope you're able to pick something up during this shave that can help you progress and become better at what you're doing. And if you're a seasoned vet, I hope you enjoyed the shave. On that note, you make it a great shave, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.